Today, I want to talk about something that touches every part of our lives: self-confidence. Self-confidence is not arrogance. It's not pretending to be something you're not. It's the quiet belief in your own ability to handle whatever life throws at you. It's knowing that you are worthy, capable, and enough just as you are. But let's be honest, self-confidence doesn't always come naturally. Life knocks us down. We compare ourselves to others. We let fear and doubt creep in. But here's the good news: self-confidence is not something you're either born with or without. It can be built like a muscle. So how do you build it? You build it through small wins. You build it by keeping promises to yourself. You build it by stepping out of your comfort zone again and again until what once scared you becomes second nature. Confidence doesn't mean never failing. It means getting back up after you fall. It means trusting yourself to try again, to speak up, to take the leap. So today, I challenge each of you: take one step, however small, toward the person you want to become. Speak a little louder, walk a little taller, believe a little more, because confidence isn't something you wait to feel, it's something you choose to build. 1. Start with self-awareness. Expanded the foundation of building self-confidence lies in truly understanding who you are, your strengths, your weaknesses, your values, and your unique abilities. This is called self-awareness, and it's often overlooked, yet it's the most essential first step in the journey toward greater confidence. Many people try to act confident by imitating others or putting on a facade, but this kind of surface-level behavior doesn't last. True confidence is built from the inside out, and that starts with knowing yourself deeply and honestly. When you are self-aware, you are no longer trying to meet someone else's expectations. Instead, you're aligning your actions with your true self, which is where genuine confidence is born. Start by reflecting on your core strengths. What are the things you consistently do well? What do people often come to you for help with? These don't have to be dramatic or showy. Even being a great listener, staying calm under pressure, or being reliable are powerful strengths that can be the base of strong confidence. Write these down and remind yourself of them often. But it's also important to acknowledge your weaknesses and limitations without judgment. This doesn't mean you dwell on them or let them define you. It means you're honest enough to see where you can grow. Self-confidence is not the belief that you are perfect. It's the belief that you are capable of improving. In addition to identifying strengths and weaknesses, take time to clarify your personal values. What truly matters to you? What do you stand for? When your actions and goals are in harmony with your values, your self-belief becomes much stronger because you're living authentically. Self-awareness also includes recognizing the internal narratives you tell yourself. Are they empowering, or are they full of doubt and fear? Becoming aware of these thoughts gives you the power to change them, and this mindset shift is a cornerstone of lasting confidence. Finally, self-awareness grows through regular reflection. Journaling, meditating, or simply asking yourself thoughtful questions at the end of each day can help you better understand your emotional responses, your decisions, and how you interact with the world. The more you learn about yourself, the more grounded and secure you become, and the more confident you feel in who you are. 2. Set small, achievable goals. Expanded building self-confidence is much like climbing a staircase. You can't reach the top in one giant leap. You move upward one step at a time. Each step represents a goal, small, specific, and achievable, and every time you accomplish one, your confidence grows stronger and more stable. When people think about setting goals, they often go straight for big, life-changing outcomes: getting a dream job, starting a business, or transforming their lifestyle overnight. While having big dreams is important, starting with goals that are too large or vague can feel overwhelming and discouraging. When you set small, realistic goals that you can actually complete in the short term, you start collecting wins, and these wins matter more than you might think. Each time you accomplish a goal, no matter how minor it seems, your brain registers success. It creates a positive feedback loop that tells you, "I can do this." This sense of accomplishment is like fuel. It gives you the energy and motivation to keep moving forward. Over time, as these small goals pile up, they transform into a solid foundation of self self-confidence. The key is to make your goals clear and measurable, instead of saying, I want to be more confident in public speaking. A small and achievable version of that could be, I will speak up once in my next team meeting, or I will practice a 1-minute speech in front of a mirror today. These are manageable, non-intimidating steps that still move you in the right direction. Another reason small goals work is because they reduce the fear of failure. When a goal is too big or too far away, it can feel risky or impossible, and that fear can paralyze you. But when you shrink the goal to something you can tackle right now, you remove a lot of the pressure. You build momentum, and momentum is a powerful ally when you're trying to build confidence. Also, don't underestimate the power of consistency. Doing one small thing every day, like journaling, exercising, learning a new word, or reaching out to one new person, might not feel groundbreaking in the moment, but over time it leads to noticeable progress. And with progress comes pride, and with pride comes belief in yourself. Celebrate each completed goal, no matter how small. This doesn't mean throwing a party every time. It could be as simple as acknowledging your effort, giving yourself a compliment, or writing it down in a journal. Recognition reinforces the habit of achievement, and this habit becomes the backbone of long-term confidence. Setting and achieving small goals teaches you a valuable truth: you are capable. And once you internalize that truth, it becomes much easier to take on bigger challenges with a sense of purpose and belief. 3. Practice positive self-talk. Expanded the way you talk to yourself has a powerful impact on your confidence. Your internal dialogue, the thoughts you repeat in your mind every day, shapes your beliefs, your emotions, and your actions. That's why positive self-talk is one of the most effective tools for building lasting self-confidence. Unfortunately, many of us live with a constant inner critic. This voice points out our mistakes, questions our worth, and fills our minds with self-doubt. It says things like, I'm not good enough, I always mess things up, or why would anyone listen to me? Over time, these thoughts chip away at your self-esteem and convince you that you're not capable, even when it's not true. Positive self-talk doesn't mean ignoring your flaws or pretending everything is perfect. It means speaking to yourself with compassion, encouragement, and honesty, just like you would speak to a friend going through a tough time. If a close friend came to you feeling unsure or insecure, you wouldn't criticize them or tear them down. You'd lift them up. You'd remind them of their strengths, their progress, and their potential. That's exactly how you should treat yourself. To begin practicing positive self-talk, start by paying attention to your internal voice. Notice the automatic thoughts that come up when you're under pressure, facing a challenge, or making a mistake. Are they helpful or harmful, encouraging or discouraging? Awareness is the first step in changing the narrative. Once you become aware of negative self-talk patterns, challenge them. Ask yourself, is this thought based on facts or fear? Would I say this to someone I care about? Is there a more balanced, empowering way to look at this situation? Then reframe the thought. For example, change I can't do this to this is hard, but I can learn. Change I'm terrible at this to I'm still improving, I don't have to be perfect. Change I failed to I tried and now I know what to do differently next time. These small shifts in language may seem simple, but they create powerful changes in mindset. Over time, as you replace negative scripts with more constructive ones, your confidence begins to grow. You start to believe in your ability to face challenges, solve problems, and move forward even when things don't go perfectly. Another effective way to strengthen positive self-talk is by using affirmations, short, uplifting statements you repeat regularly to reinforce your self-worth. Examples include, I am capable and strong. I am worthy of success and happiness. I trust myself to figure things out. You can write these on sticky notes, put them on your mirror, or repeat them silently before a stressful event. At first, they might feel unnatural, especially if your inner critic has been dominant for a long time. But with consistent practice, they start to feel more believable, and your confidence begins to reflect that shift. It's important to understand that your thoughts are not always facts. They are often shaped by past experiences, fears, or insecurities. But by choosing to direct your inner voice in a kinder, more empowering direction, you regain control over how you see yourself, and that is one of the most powerful steps you can take toward building lasting self-confidence. 4. Step out of your comfort zone, expanded. One of the most transformative things you can do to build self-confidence is to step out of your comfort zone. While the comfort zone feels safe and familiar, it often keeps us stuck repeating the same patterns, avoiding challenges, and ultimately missing out on growth. Confidence, on the other hand, is not built through comfort, it's forged through courage. Think about it. Most of the people you admire for their confidence didn't get there by playing it safe. They took risks, faced fears, tried new things, and stumbled more than once. But each time they stepped into the unknown, they learned something. They grew stronger, more capable, and more certain of what they could handle. That's exactly how confidence works, not as a destination, but as a byproduct of action. Stepping out of your comfort zone doesn't mean you have to do something extreme or reckless. It simply means doing something that makes you feel slightly uncomfortable, but excited, something that challenges you just enough to stretch your limits. This could be anything from starting a conversation with someone new, sharing your ideas in a meeting, signing up for a class, or even setting a boundary you've been avoiding. The key is to recognize those moments when fear or hesitation shows up and choose to lean in rather than step back. Each time you face discomfort head on, you send yourself a powerful message: I am capable of more than I think. That message begins to rewrite the beliefs you hold about yourself. Instead of seeing yourself as someone who avoids challenges, you begin to see yourself as someone who embraces them. And every time you survive or even succeed, your confidence grows stronger. It's important to understand that fear is a normal part of growth. It doesn't mean you're not ready, it means you're human. In fact, fear can be a sign that you're on the edge of something important. Confidence isn't the absence of fear, it's the willingness to act in spite of it. When you make courage a habit, you'll notice that the things that once terrified you become manageable, even routine. What once felt impossible becomes part of your comfort zone because you expanded it. Also, keep in mind that failure is part of the process. When you try something new, there's always a chance it won't go perfectly. But failure doesn't define your worth, it's a stepping stone to growth. Some of the most confident people are those who have failed the most simply because they've tried the most. With each failure, they learned something, adjusted, and came back stronger. To stay motivated, try to reflect regularly on your progress. Ask yourself, what's something I did this week that made me uncomfortable? What did I learn from it? How did it make me feel afterward? These small moments of discomfort are often the biggest catalysts for self-belief. Ultimately, confidence doesn't grow by thinking about what you could do, it grows by actually doing it. When you step beyond the boundaries of what feels safe and familiar, you discover new parts of yourself. You realize you're more resilient, more skilled, and more powerful than you gave yourself credit for. The comfort zone might feel secure, but all the magic, all the confidence lies just beyond it. 5. Learn from failure. Expanded failure is often misunderstood. Many people see it as something to avoid at all costs, a sign that they're not good enough or not cut out for success. But the truth is, failure is not the opposite of success, it's a part of it. It is one of the most valuable teachers you will ever have, and if you approach it with the right mindset, it becomes a powerful tool for building self-confidence. When we fail, we often feel shame, embarrassment, or disappointment. These emotions are natural, but they can be destructive if we allow them to shape our self-image. What's important to realize is that failure does not define you, how you respond to failure does. Every time you fail and get back up, you are proving to yourself that you are resilient, determined, and capable of growth. And those are the exact qualities that create unshakable confidence. Think about how children learn. A toddler learning to walk doesn't give up after falling the first few times. They fall, get up, and try again over and over. Eventually, they walk with ease, and then they run. We applaud this process in children, yet as adults, we often fear failure so much that we stop trying altogether. Reclaiming that sense of learning through failure is essential to rebuilding authentic self-confidence. One of the best ways to build confidence through failure is to change the way you interpret it. Instead of asking, "What did I do wrong?" ask, "What can I learn from this?" This small shift in mindset turns failure into feedback. It helps you gain insight into your decisions, your approach, and your habits, all of which are incredibly useful for growth. When you begin to view each setback as a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block, your confidence becomes more resilient. You can also gain confidence by reflecting on past failures that led to growth. Think about times when you made mistakes or didn't meet your goals, and yet something good came out of the experience. Maybe you discovered a new strength, developed a skill, or learned something important about yourself. These reflections remind you that failure is not fatal, it's a natural, even necessary, part of progress. Another important aspect of learning from failure is to be kind to yourself in the process. Often, we are our own harshest critics. We say things to ourselves that we would never say to a friend, but self-compassion is not weakness, it's strength. When you treat yourself with understanding and patience after a setback, you create a safe space for yourself to try again. That emotional safety is crucial for developing real confidence. Finally, surround yourself with people who support your growth, not just your success. The right people won't judge you for falling, they'll encourage you to get back up. They'll help you see your potential even when you doubt it yourself, and having that support can make it easier to take risks, embrace challenges, and continue moving forward even after failures. In the end, confidence isn't about never failing. It's about believing in your ability to recover, learn, and grow every time you do. When you see failure as part of the journey, not the end of the road, you stop fearing it, and you start embracing it as an ally in your growth. This shift not only makes you more resilient, but also instills a deep sense of trust in yourself that is at the heart of true confidence. 6. Surround yourself with supportive people. Expanded the people we surround ourselves with play a significant role in how we see ourselves and how confident we feel. While self-confidence ultimately comes from within, the environment we're in can either nurture it or chip away at it. That's why one of the most powerful ways to build and protect yourself confidence is to surround yourself with supportive, uplifting people who believe in your potential and encourage your growth. Supportive people are those who see the best in you even when you can't see it yourself. They cheer for your successes, remind you of your strengths during tough times, and push you to go after your goals. They don't mock your ideas or belittle your efforts. Instead, they offer constructive feedback, celebrate your progress, and provide a safe space for you to express yourself without fear of judgment. When you're around people like this, it's much easier to take risks, speak up, and believe in yourself. On the flip side, toxic or negative relationships can do serious damage to your confidence. Constant criticism, sarcasm, comparison, or subtle put-downs can make you doubt your abilities, question your worth, and feel like you have to shrink yourself to fit in. Over time, this kind of environment can silence your voice and erode the belief you have in your own value. That's why it's so important to be intentional about who you spend your time with, because the people closest to you have a direct impact on your mindset. One way to assess your environment is to ask yourself how you feel after spending time with someone: uplifted or drained, inspired or discouraged, seen and heard or ignored and dismissed. These emotions are clues. They help you recognize which relationships are helping your confidence grow and which ones may be holding you back. Building a strong, supportive circle doesn't mean you need a large group of friends or constant validation. Even one or two genuine, encouraging people can make a huge difference. Look for individuals who embody the qualities you admire, who listen without judgment, and who push you to be your best, not in a pressuring way, but in a way that makes you feel safe and empowered. In addition to personal relationships, consider the influences you allow into your mental space. This includes the media you consume, the social media accounts you follow, and the messages you hear every day. Are you surrounded by inspiration and encouragement, or are you constantly bombarded by unrealistic comparisons, negativity, and self-doubt? Just like in-person relationships, these digital influences can shape your self-image and impact your confidence. Choose to follow voices that uplift you, challenge you in healthy ways, and remind you of your potential. It's also important to remember that being part of a supportive community is a two-way street. Confidence grows not only when you receive support, but also when you give it. Encouraging others, celebrating their wins, and offering kindness builds a sense of connection and purpose. And as you become a source of strength for others, you reinforce those same beliefs in yourself. Creating a strong support network doesn't happen overnight, and it may require some difficult decisions about who you allow into your inner circle. But over time, surrounding yourself with the right people who see your worth, support your dreams, and stand by you when you're struggling will give you the courage to keep going. Their belief in you can help light the way until your own belief is strong enough to stand on its own. 7. Celebrate your progress expanded. One of the most overlooked yet essential steps in building self-confidence is taking time to celebrate your progress, both the big wins and the small victories. In a world that's always urging us to move on to the next goal, it's easy to skip over our achievements and focus only on what we haven't done yet. But when we fail to recognize how far we've come, we also rob ourselves of the powerful confidence that comes from seeing our own growth. Celebrating your progress is not about arrogance or self-importance. It's about acknowledging your efforts, recognizing your improvement, and giving yourself credit for the steps you've taken, even if you're not yet where you want to be. Every bit of progress, no matter how small it may seem, is a sign that you are moving forward, and each of these steps deserves recognition. Confidence doesn't magically appear after you reach some final, perfect version of yourself. It's built along the way through the habits you form, the challenges you overcome, and the courage you show on a daily basis. By taking time to reflect on and celebrate your progress, you reinforce the belief that your actions matter, that you are capable, that you are growing. Too often, we tie confidence to results: a finished project, a promotion, a visible transformation. But confidence actually comes from consistency, from showing up even when it's hard, from not giving up when things don't go as planned. And unless you stop to recognize those efforts, you may never realize how much you've actually achieved. Start by keeping track of your accomplishments. This could be through journaling, keeping a daily or weekly win list, or even just pausing at the end of each day to think about what went well. Ask yourself, what did I do today that I'm proud of? What challenge did I face and handle with grace? What fear did I push through? These questions help you stay connected to your journey and give your mind proof of your progress. It's also important to reward yourself in meaningful ways. A celebration doesn't have to be grand or expensive. It could be treating yourself to your favorite meal, taking a well-deserved break, sharing your win with a friend, or simply saying to yourself, "I'm proud of me." These rituals build a positive emotional association with effort and achievement, making you more likely to keep going even when motivation dips. Another benefit of celebrating progress is that it helps shift your mindset away from perfectionism. When you're always focused on the final result, you're more likely to feel like you're falling short. But when you celebrate the journey, you start to see value in the process itself. You begin to appreciate how every step, even the missteps, contributes to your development. This shift allows you to be more patient with yourself, more compassionate, and more willing to take risks. When you take ownership of your growth and recognize your wins, you begin to build a story in your mind, a narrative of success, strength, and resilience. And that story becomes the inner dialogue that fuels your confidence. It reminds you that you've come a long way, that you've already overcome so much, and that you have every reason to trust yourself going forward.